The first one was pretty good, but the sequel is where these franchises started to shine. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 best video game sequels. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at the direct follow-ups to a game, meaning the numero 2 of the gaming world specifically, and ranking them based on how fun, memorable, and exciting they are, as well as how significant a leap in quality they were in comparison to their predecessors. Number 10, Resident Evil 2.
You're a cop, right?
Yeah, first day on the job.
The first Resident Evil showed how the survival horror genre could work in gaming, but the sequel is where the world was shown what could be really done with it. For its time, the game was praised for having an almost cinematic feel, and the impressive graphics helped immerse players into this spooky, horror-themed world. The sound design was improved as well, making the simple act of turning a corner a nerve-wracking sensation. Never experiencing a dull moment throughout the entirety of not one but two unique campaigns starring different characters. Resident Evil 2 is a relentless tour de force of haunting atmosphere and spine-tingling scares. Number 9, Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness.
The Orcish warriors yearn for the sounds of battle to fill the air and look to the far horizon for new blood to spill.
The original Warcraft helped popularize the RTS genre to a more widespread audience, along with giving Blizzard their first bona fide hit. But once again, where the first installment broke new ground, it was the follow-up that truly took advantage of the material.
Guards!
Warcraft 2 expanded on the ideas of smart resource management and careful strategic planning, encouraging players to efficiently build their armies and vanquish their foes to complete each mission. Additionally, when Blizzard launched their Battle.net service, it breathed new life into what was already a thrilling game about conquest and domination, becoming a pioneer for online multiplayer and making Blizzard a force to be reckoned with in the gaming world. Number 8, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. The original Uncharted was a solid game, boasting beautiful graphics and introducing us to one of the most likable video game protagonists in recent memory, Nathan Drake. Once the sequel rolled out 2 years later, however, developer Naughty Dog fired on all cylinders, unleashing this masterfully created action-adventure that was unlike anything seen before.
You ready for this?
As I'll ever be.
The exhilarating train sequence alone showed off an impressive technical achievement, but the show doesn't stop there. The story was an incredibly engaging Indiana Jones-style romp as you traversed through a diverse set of environments and breathtaking set pieces.
Sure. Be a hero. Rescue Chloe. Brilliant.
Number 7, Batman: Arkham City. Gamers and critics alike didn't expect much from Arkham Asylum, considering the typically mediocre quality of licensed video games. But wouldn't you know it, it was a surprise hit, and developer Rocksteady got to work to meet the rising expectations for a sequel. And oh boy, did they deliver.
Give me your best shot!
Arkham City was the ultimate Batman simulator, allowing gamers to freely explore an open environment as they prowled the rooftops and alleyways of the titular prison city to take on a slew of villains such as Penguin and Mr. Freeze. The Dark Knight is infamous for exclaiming his one-liner, "I'm Batman," and for the first time, gamers felt like they could say the same thing.
Where's he gone?
He's vanished! He disappeared!
They don't know where I am.
Screw that!
Good.
He's gonna
Let's
get
keep
us.
it that way.
Number 6, Silent Hill 2. Poor James Sunderland is going through hell in this game, and we really feel bad for the guy. But hey, we did get an awesome video game out of all his suffering, right? This sequel benefited from the added horsepower that the PlayStation 2 had over the original PlayStation, allowing for the developers to create truly terrifying settings with the game's eerie ambiance and chilling atmosphere practically oozing out of the screen.
That's what I keep telling myself. A dead person can't write a letter.
But that isn't even mentioning the introduction of the now iconic Pyramid Head character, who has since become one of gaming's most memorable and scariest enemies. The journey through the town of Silent Hill is full of unforgettable twists and turns that leads to a heart-stopping climax. Number 5, Diablo 2. Well, hello Blizzard, we meet again. After proving their prowess with the aforementioned Warcraft 2, the developer once again showed how much they can up the ante in a sequel, with a return to their dungeon-crawling world of Diablo. Diablo 2 was one of the most popular games back in the early 2000s, and still has a dedicated fanbase to this day, which we feel speaks wonders about the game's quality. The epic dark fantasy themes are the perfect backdrop for the action RPG gameplay, only further elevated by the procedurally generated levels, ensuring a consistent pace of always fresh surprises. A more robust item management system and more varied character classes also helped to sweeten the deal.
How had he found me here?
Number 4, Street Fighter II. While many of the sequels on this list were a substantial improvement on their predecessors, Street Fighter II left the original practically obsolete by comparison. The Fast and Furious gameplay was only heightened by the wide assortment of characters, all with their own sets of skills and fighting styles, and the later re-releases with new fighters helped popularize the fighting game genre. If any more proof is needed of this game's massive impact, Street Fighter II was such a big deal that it was considered to be a system seller for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, the same Super Nintendo that was already home to heavy hitters like Mario and Zelda. So that's saying something. Number 3, Portal 2.
Well done. The Enrichment Center reminds you that although circumstances may appear bleak, you are not alone.
The original Portal was a mere bonus on the orange box, but it ended up becoming a sleeper hit. Portal 2 builds on the foundations of the original with an even bigger adventure and more complex puzzles to tackle.
We are escaping.
Alongside the already mind-boggling Portal Gun, Valve incorporated tractor beams, having to redirect deadly lasers, and speed-enhancing gels to create multi-step scenarios that would push our problem skills to the limits. Furthermore, the game's hilarious script and witty one-liners from Wheatley and GLaDOS provide some good laughs and ensure that the experience never loses its momentum.
I don't know why that went off.
Portal 2 also featured an equally challenging 2-player co-op story mode. So, in terms of bang for your buck, this one definitely kept you busy for a long time.
I think that one was about to say, I love you. They are sentient, of course. We just have a lot of them.
Number 2, Mass Effect 2. BioWare planned out the Mass Effect series as a 3-part trilogy from the get-go. Considering the first installment was just laying the groundwork, it's with Mass Effect 2 where things really kick into high gear. The more dynamic gunplay ensured far more exciting battles than the previous installment, and the beefy amount of added DLC provided gamers with side missions that were just as exhilarating as the main campaign.
Someone had to stand up and make the galaxy safe.
Maintaining a population this size in space can't be cheap.
Add in a further improved graphics engine, rousing musical score, and deeper characterization of many of the heroes and villains, and it made for one heck of a thrill ride, setting the gold standard for what sci-fi action RPGs would strive to be in the future. Before we reveal our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I am Shodan.
Number 1, Half-Life 2.
About that beer I owed you. It's me, Gordon, Barney from Black Mesa.
Wake up, Mr. Freeman, and realize what a damn fine video game you're a part of. Half-Life 2 checks off all the boxes for what a sequel should be. Bigger, better, and tweaked to be as close to perfection as they can come. Critics and gamers alike went absolutely bananas for the game's impressive physics engine, crisp visuals, and lifelike animations, all of which combined to help craft some truly intense combat scenarios and environmental puzzle solving. The icing on the cake? Well, 2 words: Gravity Gun. Half-Life 2 was such a monumental achievement that tech magazine Maximum Gamer broke the rules and gave it a score of 11 out of 10, which sounds about right to us. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.